Here we go. It's been a minute since I have done one of these stories. I've posted some on the podcast that were previously recorded, but this is, I haven't recorded one recently. So, this one, you know what? I announced recently that I'm going to be writing a book next year, and that these are going to be stories that I had, adventures that I had with my cousin Chris. We had some wild adventures in our crazy youth, and I think they're worth telling, if not only for me to remember the details later in life, but I feel like other people might find them entertaining. Because when I do tell people in person, they're like, "That is insane." So here we go. I don't even have a name for this one. This is just something that Chris and I would never forget. And Chris passed away a year and a half ago, and so it kind of sucks. Like I feel like there are some of the details of the story that I might not remember. I was thinking about this on the way to work today. Like, man, I really wish I could reach out and ask him, like, is this detail correct? Am I remembering this right? But no, so I'm the only one left with these stories, and that's why I think it's important. I think that I get them out because, if I wasn't around to tell them, they'd never be told. They'd never be known. So, and it's not like they're of dire importance or anything, but I do feel like they can be entertaining. Anyway, I don't really have a name for this one. It's just wild. So, Chris and I think we're maybe 16 years old, okay? And we decided we were going to go hang out with Chris's friends, whom I knew, but they weren't really my group of friends. It was like his group of friends. And he's like, "Dude, let's go out with Adam and Nate." And that's another thing I just remembered. Actually, half of this group of friends that went out this night are no longer with us, and that's insane. That's insane. Another member of the group passed away too a couple of years ago, so that's wild. Anyway, we decided to go out with Adam and Nate, and Chris goes, "Yeah, dude, come hang out with me and Adam and Nate. We always like to party and do crazy shit." And I'm like, "All right, let's do it." And Chris and I were very much into drinking alcohol at this time. I mean, we were party animals. We were 16 years old. We would drink anytime we got the opportunity. I don't think I was smoking weed or anything really at that time, but Chris was pretty heavy into smoking weed at the time, and just getting wild, man. We're just rebellious kids, and we didn't come from the best of households. At the time, we were living together with my parents, who did not have their shit together, and you'll see at the end of this story what I mean by that, because it comes full circle here. So we decided to go out with Adam and Nate. Adam had a van. Adam had this, like, big blue beater of a van, like piece of shit van, right? And, the back of it, I think they might have like a couch or a bench in the back, something like that, if anything, to sit on. And we're all wildly underage. Like I said, we're all 16. I think Nate was 17 or 18. The rest of us, me, Chris, and Adam, we're all 16. And we get in they come to pick us up in the van, right? This big fucking beat up van pulls up in front of my house. Like, and Adam is a fucking nut. Adam is such a nut. Like, I'm not going to give his last name, but people might know by me saying Adam and Nate, that Adam was a wild person, okay? Adam's driving, okay? And they pull up, Adam pulled up, and he's like yelling out the window, "Whoa, fucking party! Let's go! Give me a beer!" He's driving, mind you, screaming out the window, "Give me a beer." Okay? So that's it, man. That's the start of the journey. We hop in the van, and we just start rolling around town. Guess what? Adam and Nate, they already got a case of beer in the back. And we get in the van, Nate's passing out the beers to me and Chris. We're like, woo, fucking chugging beers, driving. Now, listen, this is a cautionary tale. I mean, kind of. I can't say cautionary because it didn't end terribly, but this is not something I'm proud of. You know, drinking and driving and acting like wild people. But I digress. We're driving around town, just trying to find shit to do. We don't know what to do. It doesn't matter. We're driving around drinking beer, talking, having a good time, laughing, acting wild. And we decide to pick up a friend of Adam and Nate's, right? And I don't even remember his name. I don't remember his name now. Because this is the only time I ever met him. They're like, hey, we're going to stop and pick up whoever. I don't remember his name. We'll call him Bobby. We're going to stop and pick up Bobby. And we're like, all right, fuck it. So we go and we pick up this guy. And I just remember he had blonde hair and he was kind of chubby. I don't remember anything else about him except for the fact that for some reason he thought that me and Chris and Adam and Nate were like a crew, okay? And now, Chris and Adam and Nate might have been a crew. I was not part of this crew, but that night, apparently I was. And this kid, for some reason, idolized these wild fuckers. I have no idea why you would idolize people like this, but he did. He did. And like I said, he put me right in the bunch because I was in the group that night. And I'm Chris's cousin, and, you know. So, this kid, he's, for some reason, really looking up to us. He's treating it like this is a clique he wants to be a part of. And so, he suggests to us, hey, let's go to Meijer, which is, I don't know if everyone has Meijer, but Meijer is like a department store / grocery store, kind of like a super Walmart, right? It's like half grocery store, half department store. And he suggests, let's go there and get some more alcohol. I'll just steal it. We're like, really? And, you know, as wild as we were, we knew we didn't want to get caught stealing. We're like, I don't know, dude. That's going to ruin our whole fucking night if we get caught stealing. And this kid's like, I'll do it. I'll do it all, right? But he doesn't do it all. Some of the other people participated as well. I definitely didn't put anything in my pockets, but I was probably a lookout or something. We went into Meijer, and we're walking around kind of nonchalantly or whatever, and I won't say who did what, but a couple members of our little crew put bottles of liquor like down in their pants and in their coats and stuff. We walked out with 4 bottles of liquor. I think it was 2 bottles of Southern Comfort and a giant handle of Early Times, and then a 5th of this Early Times. These are all store liquors, so they're not like full like 80 proof liquors. They're more like 40 proof, like 20% alcohol or less. But they still get you really drunk, for sure. So we're driving around town with a case of beer and multiple bottles of liquor, getting pretty toasty, and we decide, let's go back to Meijer, and let's steal some more stuff, right? Oh my God. Like, thinking about it now, I'm horrified. Like, let's go steal stuff? Let's get drunk, 16 years old, and go steal stuff. Insane. Hey, if my kids are listening to this, don't fucking do that. We are so close, like, we were so close to have been, like, locked up. It was only luck that kept us from getting in huge trouble this night, or in a terrible accident and hurting someone. Once again, I digress. Back to the story. We go back to Meijer. Nobody really wants to steal anything else. We got the alcohol. We that's all we really needed for a good time. But the guy that was with us, this new guy, this Bobby guy, he not only was like a kleptomaniac, apparently, but he also wanted to prove himself to this, what he thought was a clique he wanted to be a part of. And no, like, he literally said it, like, I'm going to do this to prove myself to the clique. I want to be a part of the group. And we're like, we're not really a a group like that. This is not a gang. Like, but he insisted. He says, "What do you guys want? What do you guys want in this store? I'll go get it. I'll go get it." So I'm like, all right, okay. We gave him a laundry list of things, and he went in, and he came out with all kinds of stuff we wanted. I wanted the new Pantera album, and I wanted the new Megadeth album, and the new Static X album. And he brought out all three, along with two Ozzy Osbourne t-shirts and two Ozzy Osbourne hats for Chris and I, and some other stuff for the other two members of this crew. And it's crazy that I remember specifically what it was. I think it's because I had never been involved in stealing before or having anything stolen for me like that. And it was just wild. It was wild. So he comes out of the store. He gets away scot-free, right? And we decide, we're going to go get a bite to eat to cap off the night. I mean, we're probably at 2, 3 in the morning at this time. Meijer was a 24-hour store. And I'm so surprised we did not get caught doing any of this stuff because, like I said, it was that late at night. There's cameras, and there's hardly anyone in the store, so it would be fairly obvious that a bunch of drunk teenagers were walking around suspiciously. But for some reason, we got lucky. And so we decided to hit up Steak and Shake. We go over to Steak and Shake, and we're eating at Steak and Shake. And just wasted. And sitting there at the table, we must have been there for an hour eating our food, and then I don't know who in the group decided this, but we decided we were going to try to get away with even more free things, even more stealing this evening. We were going to nonchalantly walk out without paying our tab. Like I said, I'm not proud of this. This is not something I would ever do now or ever think that was cool if I heard someone else did it. But I'm telling you, groupthink is a crazy fucking thing. When you're in a group of people and you're all riling each other up, it's madness. And yeah, we were all just feeding off of each other's insane energy. And, shitty parenting and shitty childhood experiences. I'm sure it all combined into this, fucking night of rebellion. So, we try it. We try. The plan is to walk out one by one, and, the last, 2 of us walk out, and then 1 of us walk out, and then the last 2 walk out together, right? So we try it. We get 3 deep back in the van. We pull up outside the restaurant because we're going to be quick about it, right? The last 2 people have to finish, nonchalantly kind of get out of there, but they're going to be more noticed than the other people. They have to get out and jump in the van, right? So we're parked right by the door with the sliding door open on the side. And, they just come strolling out super slow, just moseying along. We're like, "What are you doing? Get in the van." They're like, it didn't work. It didn't work. So I don't know. I still to this day don't know if they chickened out and just went straight up to pay their bill, or if they actually got caught and were forced to pay their bill. But yeah, we did not end up eating for free that night. So someone ended up fitting the bill. But here's some more craziness, okay? Because after this night of insanity, Chris and I get dropped off back at our house. And like I said, where we came from, the house we left from that day, was not the best of households. Both of my parents at the time had hefty drug problems. And that played into us being able to get away with a lot of shit because there was no parental supervision really at all at this period. When I was 16 years old, we'd get away with murder, dude. It was insane. So, we didn't get away with murder. We didn't commit murder. But that's just to let you know what the situation was like. So we walk back in the house that evening, and it's weird because it's like 3 or 4 a.m., okay? But when we arrive back home, every light in the house is on. Like, you can, from, we're pulling up outside, it's like the living room, the bedroom, the kitchen, the bathroom, the dining room, every light in the house is on. And some of the blinds and curtains are missing from the front of the house. It's very strange. So we walk in the house, and it is demolished. I mean, it is smashed to bits, dude. There is shit everywhere. There's a giant potted plant that has been overturned in the middle of the living room. The couch and the chair were flipped over on their side. There's broken glass. There's curtains on the floor. It is a wreck. Dude, it is a wreck. And we walk in and we're like, what? We just look at each other like, what the fuck's going on, dude? What happened? And then my mom like moseys out of the bedroom, and she go, and it was just like, the thing is at the time it wasn't that insane. It was insane that the house was that way, but the explanation to us was not as surprising as it would be, I guess, to most people. My mom proceeds to tell us a story that my dad was he was taking some sort of drugs, and that the mixture of these drugs, or he was given something that he didn't know he was given, or something was in the drugs that he didn't know, and he had flipped out. He had flipped out, and he was hallucinating, and he was throwing things all over the house, and he thought he was being attacked by demons, and and the house got completely wrecked. Someone called the police. I don't know if it was my mom. I don't know if it was maybe she called 911 because he's freaking out. And my dad has since recovered from drug abuse. So this is not like something I lived with forever, but the later edge of my teenage years was, wasn't a happy home, man. So sorry to say, it's like sometimes I feel bad about like telling these stories of other people that implicate other people, but it's like it was my life too. You know what I'm saying? I have just as much right to tell my stories as other people do to not tell their own. Anyway, it affected me in a big way. So I feel like, fuck it, I'm gonna tell my truth, man. I can tell my story. So the house was destroyed. Someone had called 911, whether it be my mom or whether it be a neighbor, because I'm sure it was wild. I mean, screaming and yelling and breaking glass and, furniture being flipped over. But the police arrived and paramedics arrived. And I think my dad thought they were hostile or something, and ran outside to confront them, like with a curtain rod, a giant curtain rod in his hand, which was like I don't know, it was a big steel curtain rod, but he was like running out there with like it was a spear. I don't know if cops carried tasers back then. I'm very surprised he didn't get shot. He was probably wrestled to the ground. I like I said, I wasn't there. I don't know exactly how it went down, but I do know that at some point he cut his hand open on this spear curtain rod thing. Anyway, they had to force him to go into I don't know if it was into the ambulance or into the police car, but he was taken in that evening. And so we arrived home, and my dad was gone. My mom was wide-eyed and awake. Take that for what you will. And the house was destroyed. So, that's it. I don't know what I'm going to name this story, but that was the crazy, wild story from our questionable youth, and one that will definitely be in the book that I'm writing, probably in more detail if I can figure out how to get more details to this story. But to the best of my recollection, that was the insane evening that we had. And I mean, to be honest, some of these stories could run together. Like, that might have been a different evening completely. Like, the thing we came home to at the end of the night could have been a different evening, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that was that evening. So, anyway, if you like videos like this, podcasts like this, where sometimes I'm talking about entertainment and pop culture, sometimes it's stories like this from my questionable youth. But if you enjoy this sort of thing, subscribe for more, follow the podcast. I try to do it daily. Every day I try to pick a random topic and riff on it. So if you're into that sort of thing, stick around. And if you decide to stick around, I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Thanks.